What's going on, guys? 24/7 Tech here, and you guys might know the Fitbit Sense and the Galaxy Watch 3. Those are Fitbit and Samsung's flagship smartwatches. They just came out, and they're newly updated for 2020, and they're the best that you can get from both of those companies. However, there are two step downs, you could say, just minor step downs, but still great watches. These are called the Fitbit Versa 3 and the Galaxy Watch Active 2. These are kind of the more mid-range smartwatches in the $200 to $300 price range. Not too expensive, but giving you the most value that you can get for your money. And in this video, we're going to be comparing both of these smartwatches. And if you're someone who doesn't want to spend close to $400 on a smartwatch like me, this is the best video for you guys, since both of these smartwatches are under $300 for pretty much any kind of specification that you pick. So stay tuned for an awesome video. And for more awesome videos like this, please subscribe down below. But for now, let's get on with the video. Let's talk about some common features on both of these smartwatches. First of all, both of these have an OLED display, which is something great on a smartwatch. It's really nice displays on both of them. And the Fitbit Versa, the original one, actually did not have an OLED display. It came on the Versa 2, and the Versa 3 still maintains that OLED display. Samsung makes pretty great OLED displays. We've seen it on their phones or tablets, on all types of devices, and on the Galaxy Watch 3, it's the same situation. It's got an amazing OLED screen, and I really like it. They can both also track the basic fitness things. So I'm talking about steps, distance, heart rate, maybe floors climbed, that type of stuff. Both of these smartwatches can do it. Heart rate sensors are located on both of these smartwatches. That's just something I wanted to get out of the way. You'll be getting all those basic features on these smartwatches, so don't worry about that. There's also voice assistants on both of these. I'll elaborate on which ones later in this video, so stay tuned for that. But both of these do have voice assistants, and I feel like voice assistants are really useful on a smartwatch since it's a small display and you don't always want to be dabbling on that small display. And it's good to have a voice assistant to just get some things done when you're on the move and you don't want to stay really focused on that small display. Both of these smartwatches also don't have the advanced health features that both of their bigger brothers, you could say, do. So they don't have an ECG, they don't have an EDA, a skin temperature sensor, nothing of that sort is on these smartwatches. It makes sense, those are expensive kind of hardware to put on smartwatches, and since these are in the $200 price range, it doesn't make sense for both of these companies to even put them in here. But it would be cool if they could, but none of these smartwatches do have them. They both also have built-in GPSs, so you can track your jogs, runs, bike rides, and I personally like it to track where I exactly went, and more about how far, how fast, and kind of how many miles I went on my bike rides. They go pretty deep, 10, 15, 20 miles sometimes. It's a really useful feature to have, and I really like it. The Versa 2 actually did not have a built-in GPS. Thankfully, the Versa 3 gets it, and now the Versa 3 and the Galaxy Watch Active 2 are both on the same page in the GPS system. Let's talk about the advantages of the Fitbit Versa 3. First of all, the actual design is more squirrel. You know, the Versa 2 had a square design. It was much more boxier, but the Versa 3 has a squirrel design. It's kind of a blend between the Apple Watch and the Galaxy Watch Active 2, and I really like it. You know, it has the best blend of both worlds, and I mean design and display. And speaking of the display, it is much bigger because of that square display. Even though they do have curved corners, it's still, the actual frame of it is still a square, and the Fitbit Versa 3 does have a bigger display than the Galaxy Watch Active 2, and I really like it. It's a great thing to have, and since every single little increase in display matters on your wrist, since a smartwatch is so small, even the smallest differences can make a big deal. The battery life itself is actually much better on the Fitbit Versa 3, and in my own experiences and everything as well, this gets around 6 days of battery life if you don't do intensive things. I usually, go on a run or do that type of stuff, intensively check the heart rate, sleep tracking, use everything, just get a feel for the smartwatch. So I used to get around 4 to 5 days on my Versa 2. I have the Versa 3 coming in, and for my full review, I will be talking about how the battery life is on that after using it. But the Versa 3 just blows away the Galaxy Watch 3's 2 to 3 days of battery life. It's just much better. You also have better voice assistants on the smartwatch. You have a pick between Google Assistant and Alexa. Personally, those are my top two smart assistants. I think both of these are really good. Google Assistant probably more useful for just having a conversation, that type of stuff. Alexa is probably more useful for smart home. However, both of these are better than the Bixby offered in Samsung's Galaxy Watch Active 2. That's okay, it's not too bad, but it's not even close to the league of Google Assistant and Alexa. And Bixby needs to be improved, but these two assistants are probably always going to be on top. Enhanced sleep tracking is also something better on the Fitbit Versa 3. It recognizes your sleep, it gives you insights, pattern, and even a sleep score of how well you slept the night before. And this is an awesome feature. I mean, the sleep tracking on Fitbits are really accurate and actually helps your sleep. It tells you what you need more and how you can be more active throughout the day with more sleep. It gives you insights, patterns, and it's just a much better kind of sleep tracking system than the Galaxy Watch Active 2. As I said before, guys, please subscribe down below. A subscriber makes a huge difference. I need all the help that I can get from you guys. And please subscribe to, support my channel. You can also go follow my Twitter and Instagram. I create behind the scenes content on there. I post live tech updates, and it's a great place to get in contact with me as well. You can also go check out my tech articles that I write on Medium at the link medium.com/@247tech. I write articles about the latest technology, just like these new Fitbits and the new Galaxy Watches. The Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2 has a more traditional design to it, since it has a kind of more metal finish to it, a more circle look. And some people do prefer this over the smartwatch look of the Fitbit Versa 3, the Apple Watches of that square design. But the Galaxy Watch Active 2 takes a more traditional approach, and if you like normal watches, that's probably going to be the better design for you. There are also quite a few more apps on the Galaxy Watch Active 2, and this is a huge thing for me on my Apple Watch. Apps are a huge thing for me, and I love how it synchronizes with my app perfectly, with my Apple Watch, and it's just awesome to have, I can check the stocks, how it's going on, or the weather, or my particular weather app that I like, and I can do so many things with different apps. Fitbit has a few apps, of course, but it's just not to the level of where Samsung is and with the Galaxy Watch Active 2. The Galaxy Watch Active 2 has two sizes compared to a kind of one-size-fits-all Fitbit Versa 3 approach. It has a 40mm and a 44mm option, so if you have a smaller wrist, the 40mm option is probably better for you. And if you have a larger wrist, then you might want to go for that 44mm option. It's whichever one you want to choose, and some people like this, and I think it's a good thing as well to have two different size options, since sometimes you don't want a huge screen on your wrist, or sometimes the screen's just too small on your wrist. However, that's something that I wanted to say. The screen is bigger on the Fitbit Versa 3 than both of these models. Do not be kind of bought into that. The display itself is bigger on the Fitbit Versa 3 by far. On the 40mm option, it's a little bit bigger than the 44mm option. It's just that you get two sizes. The Galaxy Watch Active 2 is probably just going to be better if you're in the Samsung ecosystem, since you have the Galaxy Buds Live, the Tab S7, you've got the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, the Z Fold 2. There's so many different Samsung devices, and they're kind of interlinked together, which is a good thing. The Galaxy Watch Active 2 also has an LTE option, so this is something a lot of people wanted, so that they could just use the watch when they were outside instead of bringing their phone all the time and running around. Instead, they could just bring the watch. And the Galaxy Watch the Watch Active 2 does have that, but the Fitbit Versa 3 does not. None of the Fitbits do. I think that Fitbit should bring that to the Fitbit Sense and the Versa lineups next year, so that people who want that can get that. Let's talk about the pricing of both of these smartwatches. The Fitbit Versa 3 comes at $229, and that's the only price you can pay for this. Maybe less if you find a deal, but the Fitbit Versa 3 has no add-ons, no options on top of that $229 price, so everybody will be paying the same amount if they do buy it brand new and right now. The Galaxy Watch Active 2, however, has so many different options. It starts at $249, which is already $20 more expensive than the Versa 3, which isn't too bad, it's around the same price range, but it gets really expensive as you start adding on. If you want that 44mm option, you have to pay an extra $30. If you want that LTE connectivity, you have to pay an extra $130. So if you want both of those, a larger smartwatch with the LTE feature, you're going to be paying $380 for this Galaxy Watch Active 2, which is in the same territory as the Galaxy Watch, the Galaxy Watch 3, the Fitbit Sense, Apple Watch Series 5, and maybe the Series 6, which is coming soon as well. So it's quite a bit more expensive than the Versa 3 if you keep speccing it up, but if you just buy the baseline 40mm, no upgrades, it's around the same price. So just be aware of not to spec it up too much, or the price is going to be inflated a lot. So here's my verdict on both of these smartwatches. First of all, these are really, really close watches. I mean, they're neck and neck. They're really close. The Versa 3 was released a year after this. It was released in 2020, but the Galaxy Watch Active 2 is still it's still on the right path as the Fitbit Versa 3. And I think that the Galaxy Watch Active 2 is probably the better smartwatch for more people because it has more app support. It's got pretty much the same health tracking abilities. It's got a more traditional design to it. The one thing that I'd recommend not to do is kind of price it up too much, because if you do that, it's going to get pretty expensive for you, and at that point, you might want to look at something like the Fitbit Sense, the Galaxy Watch 3, or the Apple Watch Series 5. I'd recommend not to do that. If you can, buy the 40mm option. If it's too small, buy the 44mm option. That's fine. The Fitbit Versa 3 is a little more health oriented. It's not as health focused as the Fitbit Sense, of course, but it is a little more towards that angle with the enhanced sleep tracking. But right now, I feel like the Galaxy Watch Active 2 is better, and it's because it comes at around the same price. If you go for the 44mm option, it's a $50 price jump, which is a sizable increase, so you might be looking at the Fitbit Versa 3 then. But if you're just comparing apples to apples in the baseline models, it's pretty much the same price. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe down below. A subscriber makes a huge difference. I need all the help that I can get from you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.